All right, good morning. Welcome to Optimal Training Group. Isaac Seguno speaking. Welcome. So, in our previous video, we talked about creating a travel request application, and I even showed you what the business process flow is. It's going to be a three level stage business travel request approval form application. So we're going to be doing everything from scratch, building our SharePoint list from scratch, our Power Apps from scratch. We're going to be doing it within a solution. And so in this video, we're going to be starting out with our SharePoint. Now, for those of you that are new to SharePoint and you don't know what SharePoint is, and maybe you just got on the job and it just kind of fell in your lap, they say, oh, go do SharePoint and, have create solutions in SharePoint. SharePoint is a Microsoft product, and it is a great way for document management and collaboration in your organizations. And the wonderful thing about it is, since it's a Microsoft product, it also integrates well with other Microsoft products, with Outlook, OneDrive, OneNote. So it integrates well with all of these different products, and meaning that you can use them all together one way or another. Um, It allows users to store, to organize, to share, and access information from any device. So if you have mobile devices in your organization, you can be able to set it up that way where they can access the SharePoint site or data from their device, and not just the on the computer. One thing that I personally like about SharePoint is that it is security is baked in. So I am a full stack developer. Started out with classic ASP and .NET and all that. And just imagine trying to, build security into any application. Sometimes it can be a headache. It's a lot of, it can be a lot of coding involved. But here in SharePoint, it's all baked in, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that later on. We're going to go into that later on. Another one of the key features of SharePoint is you can have SharePoint lists and SharePoint libraries, and think of a SharePoint list as a spreadsheet, a web-based spreadsheet with columns and rows. But it just has more advanced functionality, where you can sort, um, filter, you can create content types. It's a lot of things. You can do. You have versioning. You can create permissions. You have attachments, and we're gonna go over that later on. So this is our SharePoint start page. So maybe in your organization, you're gonna have a page like this if you are in SharePoint Online. So I'm in SharePoint. I think 2019, or maybe I think even 2016, I believe, may have this look and feel. But if you're 2013, 2010, it's gonna be different. So if you're in the most recent SharePoint product platform, this is what you're going to see. And this right here is called the SharePoint start page. And in this start page, it's going to list the sites that you frequently visit. It's going to list sites that you're following. So if you just click the star here, you start to follow that site. And so that's what it has. You can also create sites here. It gives you two options: a team site or a communication site. Oops. Yes, close. You can create posts, and then you can post it to whatever site you want to publish your news to. So we're gonna go into the YouTube demo site, and this site, as you can see, is using a template. I didn't customize this much. You can get a template, and then you can customize and change this around if I wanted to. They have nice web parts that you can use. What we're mostly going to be doing though is we're going to be going into our site contents area and creating a list. So site contents, and the site contents is where all of your document libraries and if you have any subsites, your lists, this is where it's all located. It's all contained within the site contents area. So let's go ahead and create a list. And the list is going to be our data source for our travel request form. So I'm going to come over here and click new. You can create a number of things there. So we're going to click on list. And you can create a list just like Power Apps from a blank list, from an existing list, Excel, CSV. And they also have templates that you can use, Microsoft templates that they've created. Matter of fact, one of the templates here is travel requests and travel requests with approval. But I'm not going to be using any of these templates. I want to create it from a blank list. You also have, if your organization is creating any templates, you can find them here. So let's go to blank list. And I'm going to call this travel request. Okay, you can give it a description if you want. Let's show it in the site navigation, create. And there it is. And as you can see, it's blank. It only has one column. So you can either start adding columns here, and you can choose your data type, or you can add your columns. If you click on the cogwheel at the top here, settings, and if you go to list settings, and I like to create it from within here. The other way is nice too, it's quicker. And within here, this is shows you, what you can configure. You can delete the list, you can control permissions, so you can restrict access to this list, so you know who can see it, who can't see it. And that's what I mean by security is baked in. So right here at the bottom, you have your default columns title. You can't delete these columns. These come with the list. So every list that you create. So we're going to click on create column. And within our create column, we're going to start off by, let's call this trip justification. I like to make my columns one name. Once you create it, that I can come back in and put a space, but I won't have my users will not be coming to this list. They're going to be doing everything from within Power Apps, so it doesn't matter anyway. I'm going to come to my title and I'm going to call this trip title. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, because once we get into Power Apps, we have the ability to change the name anyway. So let's call this destination, and we're going to leave it as a single line of text. Click OK. And I did make justification multiple lines of text. Okay. So when you create a column, you have all of these different data types you can use. So single line of text, multiple lines of text, you can have a choice field, a number, currency, all of these different fields. So the next thing we need to create is our travel start date. And let's make that a date and time. I like how that looks. Let's come here, travel end date, travel end date. Airfare cost, and let's use currency. All right, we want it to be, this is where you can control what kind of currency you want. So we want it to be US. So click OK. And let's see, let's create hotel. I guess hotel name. Keep that as a single line of text. And let's come over here and let's say hotel cost. Hotel cost. Price. Say currency as well. Click OK. And so now that we have our form, this is our form. This is what our user is going to see. and what they're going to fill out, the requesters. Now, let me also create the columns that we need, because if you remember, let me bring this up again. Let me bring this window over here. This is our business process flow. This is what it's going to look like, you know. So I went over this in the first video. So we need a column that captures the status of the approval. So we need a general status, but then we also need a status for the team lead, manager, and senior manager, because we want to know who approved what and what their reason was, or who rejected and what their reason was. So we need a column for each of those. So let's go and create those. So we have our overall status column, status, and that's choice. So that's our choice column, and then right here we're going to add approved, rejected, and we don't want a default value. So let me delete that. Let me copy this. So I just copy and paste, click OK. So now we want a status for the team lead. So team lead status. Team lead status. Let's come down here. Choice. So I created these. I had paused the video because I didn't want the video to be too long. So I created these other columns. So what I'm going to do now is, we also want their comments. So I'm also going to create a team lead status comments, manager comment, senior manager comment, and I'm also going to create a timestamp of when they made their approvals. So I'm going to create a team lead timestamp for each one of these. So I'm going to pause the video. You already know how to create. Let me create another one since you already know how to create it now. So I'm going to say team lead approval. Your column doesn't have to be this long, but I'm going to do that anyway. So make it multiple lines of text. Enhance, that's fine. And I'm going to just pause the video and create the other column so it doesn't have to be so long. All right, we're back. So these are the comments that I created. So we created the team lead status, manager, and senior manager status. We created a team lead approval comment, manager, senior manager approval comment, and then we created the team lead timestamp, manager timestamp, and senior manager timestamp. So we created these different columns. Now we could have used the modified, but as you can probably tell, the modified is always changing whenever there's a modification change. So we want to capture these timestamps so we can capture it once when it was approved, you know, when each of these different levels managers approved, and it captures it and stores it in the SharePoint list as an item. So I hope this made sense. If you have any questions, please leave your comments in the bottom. Just to let you all know, if you're interested, I do teach a SharePoint class where we go over what SharePoint is. We kind of delve into SharePoint. We go over SharePoint lists, libraries, document types, metadata, content types. So if you're interested in a class like that, please leave the comments. If I get enough interest, I can definitely put that together again. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to share and like. That definitely helps out the channel, and it kind of motivates me to create more videos when I see these likes and it been shared. So anyway, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.